One of the many things that Andor Season 1 got so right was the world building of Ferrix, a place that basically became its own character with a backstory and an arc, and it got us to care about everything that happened there, and they've done it again in Season 2. The way that Ghorman has been portrayed and built as a storyline in Andor Season 2 is masterful. It makes us care about the peoples and the tradition and everything going on there on that planet, and that's a key part of building out what's going to happen in Season 2 of Andor. Because ultimately, if we don't care about Ghorman, then the Ghorman massacre really has no weight to it. It doesn't have the gut punch and the feeling of dread and the horror that we see on screen. It just won't hit the same way. But amazingly, in just a few short episodes, we're made to care about Ghorman. We see it as a place of life and history and tradition, and all of that makes us want more. But there was one moment that stuck out in my mind that solidified Ghorman. No, it wasn't the spiders. It wasn't the Ghorman front. It wasn't the pretty sweet calf house. No, it wasn't even the bellhop or the secret meeting. It was this moment. In the same way that the funeral processional ended up solidifying Ferrix and really driving home the point of this people being ready to fight and spark a rebellion on their own planet, to hear them chanting and saying as the processional is going, stone and sky, it really drew us into what was happening. We all together had lost Marva. We all together had felt that pain, and we all together could see the hope and the tradition and the history of being made into a brick and becoming back one with the land. That when you looked around to the place of Ferrix, because of the way that they built it, it literally was built on the backs of your ancestors. And that pulled us in to really care about what was going to happen. It felt familiar to them. This wasn't the first funeral processional they had been a part of. This wasn't the first time they had done this. This isn't the first time that they had all stood there and chanted stone and sky. This was their people. This is who they were. And all of that really just brought a sense of depth to everything. And so when they stopped chanting, "We are Ghorman, the galaxy is watching," and it started to get quieter and quieter as the singing got louder and louder, you got a sense again of this depth of these people singing with their whole heart. And this is partly what music does. Music kind of hits all the senses. Well, maybe not smell, but you know what I'm saying. Like when you're singing, you're using your body, you're physically moving, you're using your mouth to say things, you're listening, you're involved, your spirit is brought alive. This is why I think when they were writing Season 1, they started with the funeral processional. They figured out that music, they figured out that plan, and then they worked everything to get to that point. I believe, and I'm not confirmed on this, I haven't read this anywhere, but I would believe that the moment at the Ghorman massacre and the singing of their national anthem was another one of those things they figured out first and then worked everything back up to that moment. Because there was something powerful going from the basic to their native language. And specifically, there was one line that they said that really tied it all together. Can you guess what I'm going to say? You probably already can. Most national anthems in some way tie back to the land that you're singing about, the country that you're singing for, or in this case, the planet that you're singing for. This is your homeland. This is your place. This is where you have something. The dirt and the sky and everything in between is yours as a people. Having a place to call home is a real deep and seated need of all humans. All human beings here on this planet, we understand that pain of not having a place, of being displaced, or having to fight for our homeland against a larger oppressor. This hits very hard if you're a student of history, because you see this all over the place. And this is what Tony Gilroy has brought in to Star Wars. And maybe I'm alone in this. Maybe you didn't feel this way, but when they were singing Valley and Highland, it just was resonating in my soul that I could feel what they were doing, and that they were about to be set up by the Empire even just made everything hit so much harder. It really just kind of felt like, man, they're a people unified for the first time, and they're actually doing a non-violent, at this point in time, protest saying we are the Ghorman people. Now, in their mind, they're thinking maybe the galaxy is seeing this, but in reality, no one was seeing what was happening. No one has seen that they were just standing there singing their national anthem. All they've ever been told is that everything else had been agitated and started and pushed by them being angry and frustrated and mad, which would make sense. When you punch someone, they're going to punch back. And if you never know about the first punch, it feels like who threw the first punch, it would be the Ghorman people. But I think without this scene, without this singing, without these lines, if we went right from the chants in basic into the massacre, it would have felt not as much. Yes, we've gotten some of the world building. Yes, we've seen the architecture. Yes, we've heard from some of the people and heard the language and all these other things. But it all got tied together in that one moment. And it's why Andor is such a great show, because it does things like this all the time. It brings you to a point where you care about something that you never knew you would care about before. Because I'm going to be honest, when they first showed the screen and picture of the spiders weaving the silk, and we even started to meet some of the Ghorman front, and they just weren't really that interesting. They felt kind of childish. I didn't really care. I was like, okay, whatever. When Cassian came back and they were ridiculous, I didn't really care. When they botched the whole first heist and Cinta died, I was like, yeah, these Ghorman people are kind of dumb. I don't really care. And then I really cared. And then I really cared. And that's a testament to the way they built everything and then just kind of flip it on us right before everything gets crazy. And this is yet again another reason that Andor is just absolutely amazing.